So, good morning, all. And today we are going to discuss how to like plot statistics on political maps or on maps as a whole. So, we're going to discuss that, and with that, we will end the our visualization with R and ggplot, and we will move on to next week. We will move on to Tableau. So I will email you separately about how to install Tableau and all those things. Today we are mostly doing the last topic on R and ggplot, which is basically plot statistics on maps. So let me share my desktop. Okay. Our objective is essentially to let me see. So this is just a minute. Let me see. Okay, this is around. I was looking at a wrong. So our objective is to create a plot of here it is COVID-19 cases on 7th of July 2021, right? So for each state, how many cases was observed on 2021 June 7th of June 2021, that plot was made here. Now, so this is the something what we want to do. So first thing, you guys need to have these set of libraries. Let me just send you. Let me just. Okay, here is the chat box. These are the set of libraries you guys need to install or just check first. I in the chat box I gave you the set of libraries that you need to either install or and load in your R environment. Next, what I'm going to do is we are going to read the first thing is we are going to read this data from India in covid.org CSV. So this you can find basically this is the data that we are looking for. Okay, so this is the one. Okay. You guys are from where? I think this is at least some of you from these programs. This is the website, and you guys actually introduced me, and I found that some of you probably are volunteering in this website, so which is very good to know. And so here, if you go to the data, then basically, and here I'm taking this particular data. Okay, state-wise, time series, confirmed, recovered, disease numbers. Okay, so if I just call this data, I have to actually call this, and then if I call this data, then you can see there is that this is the data that we are going to have. So date, state, and confirm, recovered, deceased, other, and tested. So this is called a long format data. Okay, so if I, why it is, can anybody tell me why it is called long format data? There is typically two format you will see. One is long format, and another is the wide format. Okay, can anybody tell me why it is called long format? So if I just, I'm just ordered it in a sense, uh, first ordered by state, and then within state it will be ordered by date. So first Andaman Nicobar first cases we have on 26 March 2020, and then if you just go down, I think we go down few more. Yeah, we're almost at the end. Yeah. So you can see the 29th November 2021 is the last observation that we have so far. And then Andhra Pradesh start on 12th March 2020. 12th March 2020 is the first case that was observed in Andhra Pradesh. And then again it starts from 1 and this way. Okay. And so far it is cumulative number. So far, 7,683 cases are being observed or are being confirmed. And this number is, you can see this number is constantly increasing. Okay. And the test number is also there. Tested data is also there. So anybody has any doubt? Any? And specific to India also there, if you say data India, then what we can do, we can just say subset data, comma, state. So actually there are 36 state and union territories. There are 28 states and 8 union territories. So if you just take from data the state and write unique number of states and union territory, you will see here India is also there. So all cumulative numbers are also there. At the India level data is also there, and state level data is also there. So what we are going to do, so if you just extract the India level data, you can just write like this, data at India level. So it will give you the India level data, the country level data. 30th March to the 2020 first case, and then it's constantly increasing, and at the end now so far you can see 3 crore 45 lakh 87,822. So 34 million, 34.5 million. Okay, there is a one. All right. So now what I'm going to do, we are going to extract only the state and union territory level, state and UT level data, and we don't want the India level data to be in this. So we are saying not equal to India. All other things will come. So if I do that, then you will see in the data, if you now run this India level data, you will see that Is it there? Now India is not there. Only the, yeah. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep these things in one vector and creating a data frame. Why I need this, that basically you want to create a third column, daily confirmed cases. Basically what I'm looking for it, basically I want is first day there is a 1 case and then there is a 6. That means there are on the 27th March 2020, there were actually 5 cases. So 5 plus 1, 6. Then 28th March 2020, there were 6 goes to 9. So that means there was 3 cases. Then it was 0 cases, then 1 cases, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, then 1, 0. Then there is a 1 and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So basically I have need consecutive difference. If I take consecutive difference, I'll get at daily level how many new confirmed cases where we were observing. And we are, suppose we want to look for that. So what I am doing here, now remember that I could have done just take the difference of the consecutive difference of the column of the confirmed cases, right? But that will create a problem, and where the problem will happen is, sorry, not in this data, in this data. At the end, when I'm at, when say at the beginning of Chhattisgarh, and so we just came up. So here, if I just say, okay, you take this column, take the consecutive difference, then in this, here when it is changing from Bihar to Chandigarh, what it will do, it will subtract 1 from 721, 720, 7,26,000 to 219. So it will be a completely mistaken thing. So I don't want this to happen, right? So what I have done, I have just saying that, okay, you first create a data sub, like, if I just do for, you just create a subset for a particular state UT name, and then you just see how many cases are there, and then you take the differences, and then you go ahead and append that. In that way, you will be able to avoid that problem. Do you understand? Anybody have any question at this level? So this is the data processing I'm doing. So I'm defining the data frame. Yeah. Anybody have any question? Clear? Any doubt?
Yes, sir. Can you explain once again the data processing part?
Yeah. So, but the problem you understood, right?
Yes.
So easiest thing is, first what I will do is I'm just creating a data frame. It has nothing, 0 observation, 0 variable. Just I'm creating an object data frame. Then I say that, okay, I equal to, let's take 1. Then what will happen? I'll take the data sub. In data sub, there are 615 observations, only Andaman Nicobar, and all the related to Andaman Nicobar. Because what it is doing, I equal to 1 is all about Andaman Nicobar Island. So it says that, okay, you go ahead, data sub, you create a subset of data, state equal to Andaman Nicobar. So it will create a subset of data which will have only Andaman Nicobar. Okay. And then you just compute how many cases, how many days of data is there. Not every state will have the same number of days, because in some state it started on 26th March, some state it was started on 3rd March. So different days it was started. The data record started in a different days. As a result, your ability to uh, your ability to like your every state will have a slightly different number of days of in the pandemic. So that's why I need to so this n will differ from state to state because the starting point is different. Okay. And then what I am saying, I am just saying that you take from the data sub. This is my data sub. This data sub is only about Andaman Nicobar, the particular sub state. You just take the data confirmed, the confirmed cases, this column, and take the consecutive difference. Okay. So if I just take the consecutive difference, so these are the number every day, how many cases you have seen. Now what is happening is there will be the first day, there is no, I'll not be able to calculate anything. So when I will create this third 1 2 3 4 5 6th column, what will happen in this 6th value column, this row will have a NA. I have to handle it. So I have to say you keep it from 2 to nth row. That is what it is going to do. So the first will have a NA, and so 6 minus 1, 5, 9 minus 6, 3, 9 minus 9, 0, 10 minus 9, 1. So now I know on 27th March, there were 5 new cases. On 28th March, there was 3 cases. See since on the first day, it is actually, that is the case, that is the first observed. So it will be 1 here. Okay. So what we can do here now, we can data sum dollar new confirmed 1 equal to whatever the first value that you have observed. Okay. If you on the first day, if you have observed 2 cases, then it will be 2 cases. If it is 3 cases, it will be 3 cases. So that will be the case. That will be the starting point. Okay. And then I'm saying that, okay, now you go ahead, you append this data sub to the DF data frame that I have created here, and you move on to the next state or UT, state or immutated. Clear the data processing part?
So rbind is like append.
Rbind, it is append. It is another function basically. It's a very old function, rbind.data.frame. It's append row wise. Similarly, you have a cbind .data.frame which do the column wise appending. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So rbind for row wise appending, and cbind.data.frame will be. So if there is also a cbind and rbind. So, but that will be just an object, rbind object, that will not be a data frame. So if you want, after binding, you want it as a data frame, then you have to write rbind.data.frame. Okay. All right. So let me just quickly run it through. Now I have the data frame with all the new confirmed cases. And if we go at the end of the first 600 cases, about Andaman Nicobar cases, Wait a minute. Yeah. So you can see Andhra Pradesh on 29/11/2021, last to last day, had observed 101 cases. And then Arunachal Pradesh on 2nd April 2020, they observed their first case on 2nd April. First cases they observed. So that problem now we avoided of taking consecutive differences. Okay. So this was so you have to be a bit careful when you are doing the stuff. These kind of things. Okay, now let us, what we will do, we will take one particular days of data, and for that data we will extract the date, and these new cases on that day, how many new cases we observed by state, each state, that we will plot it state wise, and we want to create a plot like this. Okay, now so let me just take whatever the last thing that we have, that is 2021/11/29. And we will say that, okay, data one is create subset. So these are the cases that we have for the last observed cases. So Andaman Nicobar, last 29th November, we observed only 2 cases. Andhra Pradesh, we observed 101 cases, 4 cases. So West Bengal, 511 cases. So these are the cases that we are observing. Okay. So Kerala, only we are observing 7,000 cases. Otherwise, most of the places we are not seeing many. Now, we don't want too many variable to be there, just to keep our life little simple. I just said that, okay, in this case, you just keep the state name and the new confirmed cases. So this is my data. So on 29th November 2021, each states have observed these many cases. And we want to plot these number on the Indian map. Now, there is a small things that I kind of learned in a hard way to solve this problem. And I'll tell you why we need to do that. For the time being, let us avoid this problem, and I'll tell you why we need to do this. So basically, if you look into the, say, Jammu and Kashmir, so it is written as Jammu and Kashmir. What I'm doing it here, I'm replacing and by ampersand, and Andaman and Nicobar Island, I'm replacing it Andaman and Nicobar, and I'll tell you why I'm doing it. I'm going to replace this Andaman and Nicobar Island by Andaman and Nicobar. I explain you why I'm doing it. Now, in order to draw a plot, you have to call something called a shapefile. Okay, so there is a particular file called admin2.shp. I'm going to call that, and this is a very .shp file is a very heavy file. So we need I'm using read OGR, which is a function in this particular package rgdal, and unfortunately this package will retire in 2023. So a new package has come up called ASAFE, and I'm still working on that, how to handle this. Shayan just told me a few minutes back that he has figured this thing out. So maybe at the end of, maybe after me, Shayan can show us how to do that using SF package. Okay, so I'm going to use the RGDAL and Shayan is going to use the SF package, which will be slightly different procedure in terms of plotting this graph. Okay. So let me read this thing. You can see SHP is called a large spatial polygon data frame, 36 elements, and it is an 18 MB file. So it's a large package. So we have to be, when you are doing anything, you have to be a bit careful. Okay. Now, if you just take this plot or SHP file and run it, you will see just, it will create a plot of India here, Indian map, but it will take quite a bit of time because it's a very large package. It has to draw essentially the plot, the India map of India. So meanwhile, what I will do, if Shreyan, you can show
Sir,
your
from where to get that file, SHP file?
so that shape file, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share that on the Moodle, that shape file. So don't worry about that. I'll share this code and I'll share the file in the Moodle. There are online
Sir,
also.
one thing is you need to remember that with the save file, the related those files, that 1 KB, 2 KB files, also you need to share because the save file alone cannot run. I have seen
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Though,
Yeah.
exactly. So it will be a folder. It will be shapefile alone cannot be read. Along with the shapefile, there will be some supporting file will come. Okay, let me show you actually. Share my screen. So you see, it is still running. It will take a little bit time to draw the first graph. So meanwhile, I'll show you how the shapefile. So India shapefile here. So you can see we are calling this admin2.shp, but along with admin2.shp, there are some other supporting files are also there. So don't delete those files. Those are supporting files. So when RGDAL package or SF package is calling this shape file, it will require this file as well. So don't delete these file systems. Just let it be there. Okay. For the time being, I am making Shreyan as co-host. So Shreyan, now you are co-host. You can show how to do the things as well from your side.
Yes, sir. Just sir, give me a moment to just arrange few
Sure,
things.
sure. So guys, anybody have any other question till Shreyan gets ready? One thing regarding the assignment one, I have started, evaluating your assignment one. Some of I think I have evaluated 25% of them. I'm still evaluating. I will need another 1 or 2 days to complete all the assignments. I'm giving lot of comments, and please do read those comments regarding, if it is correct, no problem, fine. If it is not correct and I have taken points off, I have given comments, please do read that. And sometimes even with, I have given you points, uh, uh, though your answer is wrong. For example, some of your cases for C and D, problem for the last two sub problems C and D, the some of your answer was completely wrong, but still I gave you full marks because your method was correct. The mistake you made because in the problem one you made some mistake, and that yielded a complete wrong answer. So I have not penalized you for the mistake that you have made in the problem one.
By the way, what is the correct answer?
I'll talk about it.
Okay.
So I have not evaluated all the assignments. So give me 1 or 2 days. I'll finish all the assignments, and then what I will do, I'll just in the next day I will talk about it, because I need to accumulate all possible mistakes that are being made, and Monday I will talk about it. Okay. All right, Shayan is ready. Okay, Shayan, it's yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So this is the map that I plot. I mean, the heat map, you can say.
So any map you will plot, you will always see these things.
Yeah.
It is
So
these are very heavy object. Typically, these are very heavy object. So don't get panicked that it is getting hanged. It will just take lot of time to render. Okay, so you have to be patient. When you are working with map, you have to be very patient. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so these are the libraries that I'm using. SF is the package that I said that is used to read the save file, the admin to save file. And with that, I'm using this R natural art, R natural art data, and RGEOS as the to call the map of the world. So what it happens is this just loads the whole map of the whole world, but it is faster than leaflet because that is interactive interactive map which you can plot. So it takes more time and it is more detailed. So world is what world does is just gives a map of the whole world, and when you plot the data, plot the after reading the save file, when you plot it, it just focuses on where you have given your, I mean, where the multi-polygon data is. I mean, you can just see what str gives. So, let's. So, India map is the admin to save file that I have read. It is a multi-polygon file. What multi-polygon means is for a particular state, the longitude and latitude is stored as a polygon file, multi-polygon, and which is used here which is used to create the boundary lines of the states. All right, and so this is the purpose of the world. I have read the save file. All right, so I have used this val, I mean RUnit. I have picked up 36 values between 10 to 90 just to show that those are percentages, just for demo purposes. You can, I mean, while you will be using, I think you need to create a data frame because you need to give respective values to those states and stuff. But you can use it. I mean, you don't need the data frame just to plot it. So what I have done here is I under ggplot there is the package called geomsf, where India map df, I think this one, sorry. All right. So this is an error which it gives. I mean, every time you read it, it just replicates the Ladakh one into the last, and it becomes erroneous. So just let us select the first 36 values. Yeah. So while you will be using this file from the data frame, you need to do this. And here, so while it loads, this coordinate SF, what it does is, xlim is the range of longitude you need, and in which the India map of India is, and ylim is the range of latitude. So while the map comes, I can show. So it is a bit faster than the leaflet. So you can see I have called the longitude as 5 to 37. So 5 to 37, and sorry, latitude 5 to 37, and longitude is 67 to 99. And these are the percentage values that I have assigned to each of the states. So these are random, just percentage, or you can say a number between 10 to 90 I have selected. So this is one way you can just using the SF package, you can just read the save file, and using geom SF you can just plot the data.
Nice. Anybody? It's actually very simple, not much difficult. Yeah, that's nice. Anybody have any doubt? Clear? So we will share this code as well.
What is data is equal to world? I mean, what is that?
Yes. So what ggplot does is, I said the world is, I mean, it just gives the coordinates of the whole world data. So I don't know what it does if I do just this one. Let me just see.
I think it will plot
Yeah.
the world map. Yeah.
Yes. It just gives I mean, it creates the coordinates for the whole world, and
Yeah.
only plotting this ggplot and geomsf, it will give the whole world. And when I am doing with the data with the India map, since I have the multi-polygon data stored here, it uses this, and then I just selected which coordinate I wanted to see, the longitude and latitude range, and it will show that part only. It's very simple actually.
Yeah, basically, xlim and ylim is only help you to extract the
Yes.
India region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So knowing the latitude and longitude is a prerequisite for plotting that country in this case. Is it?
Yes. Yes. Actually, no. I mean, if you don't give it, it will give the whole world map,
Whole
and
world,
it will
yeah.
just show. I mean, it will give some coloring, and in the small place. I mean, you can see what the whole world is, and you can see the coloring here. So it will not be of help. You just this is what this thing is doing. It is just zooming for you here. It will just zoom the map to here. I mean, if you just use this data and just give the longitudinal latitude range of America, it will show everything. It will not give an error. I mean, only the color will be here and you will be shown here. So this is the difference.
And to bring the America in just one frame, we need to know the latitude and longitude, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can just Google the longitude and latitude map, and it will just, and then you can just, yeah. What you need to remember is it just. So this is the positive value, 67 to 99, which means it is the. Let me see. So 67 to 99 is the positive value. It means east. And when you put negative number, then it will be west. I mean, minus 67 means 67 degree west. And similarly, 5 degree, 5 is the positive number, 5 degree north. If minus 5 is given, it will be 5 degree south. This is the difference.
Okay. That's cool actually. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Shreyan. That was pretty helpful. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Just a
I will.
minute. Just okay. So this is what it is drawing. So just if you take the shapefile and plot, this is the political map of India is being plotted here. Okay. Now, now this SHP file, shapefile is bit of a large spatial polygon. It is, we need to, I want to make it a data frame. So what happened is if I just make it a data frame, then it will give me shp.f file. It's taking a bit of time. Not sure why it is. This one. Okay, I think we'll just get this. And as I discussed, we'll just take the shape file. I'm not going to make this plot. It's going to take a bit of time. So first time running, and then so never try to open this file, because if you try to view this file by clicking here, it will be like take forever. So my suggestion is, if you want to view this file, then you just say head of this. It will just take the six lines and show it to you. So this shape file has longitude, latitude, order, and ID. ID is basically which like Andaman and Nicobar. Now you can see it is written here in the shape file. It is written as Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, whereas in my data file, in my data one, it is saying Andaman and Nicobar Island. Similarly with the Jammu and Kashmir, and is ampersand. So now if I so what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge the shape file with my data one. This is the shape file. So I'm going to merge the shape file with the data one. This is my data one file, right? This is the, for each state, these are the statistics. I'm going to merge them by ID and state. So in the data one, it is state, and in the shape.a file, it is ID. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge them. Now, how I shape.f and data one. Now, X in the shape F, it is by ID. In the shape, in the data one, it is state. So it will be by ID and by state. So if I just do that, it is being merged. So you can see that it has the 7 variables. Now the 8th variable is the new column, that the number of statistics that are being there. And then I'm just sorting by state and order. Now if I just say tail of final, now my data is ready actually. Now what you will see, the last 2 column in Andaman Nicobar Island, it is everything is NA, and because no lat long was found, because there was no correct match, and same with the Jammu and Kashmir. So that was the problem. Okay, so for Andaman and Nicobar Island and Jammu and Kashmir, so this ampersand, so exact ID was not matching. So that is why matching is not correct. But for other cases, it was perfectly fine. So what we have to do, I have to do this little bit manually. Go check Jammu and Kashmir and replace it by Jammu ampersand Kashmir, and Andaman and Nicobar Island by Andaman ampersand Nicobar. So I just do that. Now if you go to data, now you can see Andaman and Nicobar, and here it is Jammu and Kashmir. So if you just keep everything same, just merge the data once more. Final plot. Now if you look into the tail of final dot plot, you can see that that is not there. So last state is West Bengal, and if you just say head of final dot plot, you can see Andaman Nicobar, new confirmed cases 2, and lat long, everything is there. So that means marching is correct. Okay. So now I'm just going to create a title. The title is basically saying COVID-19 cases on 2021-11-29, because as of that is the date. And then I'm calling Geom Polygon. Polygon is basically it will take the latitude and longitude. It will plot the latitude longitude by group, and it will create a each state will create a sort of a polygon, and that polygon, whatever that hole, will be colored by the value new confirmed. New confirmed, whatever the number will be like, mapped to a color, particular level of the color, and that color will be filled up with. Okay. So, and scale of the fill gradient is basically you just give I'm saying that okay, from 0 to maximum of the new confirmed cases. So what is the maximum of new confirmed cases? Which is 7,732, which is in the Kerala. And so that will be the limit for the field, this new confirmed cases. Let me, rest of the thing is pretty much same. The way, so it will take a little bit of time. Rendering these cases always take a lot of time. So for the time being, let's wait. Anybody have any question? So now we can see this is the case that we are seeing on most of the places. The cases are very less, not more than 500 cases per state. Kerala is only the place where we are seeing 7,000 cases per day. Then I'm going to just save this as JPEG file. I think you can save it as a PNG file also, and then just do it as a JPEG file. This is always a bit heavy file. Anything anytime you work with this, more it looks like ASAP package is doing faster, handling it faster, but so that is why this new package changes are being happened. But you have to be a bit careful about this when you are merging the shape file and your data file by state or by district name. You have to be a bit careful about the margin ID, that if the name conventions are not matching or there is a spelling differences, then the merge will not happen. So, and it will throw some error. So, okay, we are done. Let me just look at document. Visualization. So plot COVID-19. State. Yeah. No, not this one. New cases. New cases. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the one we have saved as a JPEG file. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I will require so I'll just join by so long format and wide format. So suppose if you look into the last thing that we have done, what we have done, so we look for state and date first. So essentially state and date, we are using it as an ID. Okay. And then we are saying that, okay, state is a Andaman and Nicobar. So date 1, I'm just giving, and then Andaman again, date 2, this way, Andaman, and then say date 600. Okay, and then what I'm saying that, okay, in this particular 600 days, what are the confirmed, what are the recovered, what are the deceased, all these values are just sort of recording. I'm recording, correct? So that is what we are doing. And then after, once the Andaman is completed, I'm doing for Bihar. One, same on that day, what are the values? Bihar. Second day, what are the values? So in this way, we will complete Bihar. Maybe we have Bihar 620 days of data. So we'll do the same thing. Whatever that's these days, we don't care. Then after Bihar, we will do say, Chhattisgarh. So this again one, again this is called typically long format. This way of storing data is known as long format. Okay. Now we will talk about wide format. The same data we can plot as a wide format. How we will do that? So one way of doing it is, sorry about that. So wide format. So for each state, say Andaman, then Bihar, then Chhattisgarh, all this way. And then day 1, day 2, day 3, in this way, up to day 60. And I'm just giving the values. These all values are about, say, confirmed. Then day 2, Andaman, Bihar, all Bihar values or Chhattisgarh values. Then I'm going to start deceased. Again, deceased will have day 1, day 2, this way. So this is typically called wide format. Okay. These format, sometimes people do use, but there is a problem in this format. Can you tell me?
Some of the columns will be empty.
Not only empty, there is another problem. In this particular data thing, you see every day when a new day's data comes, you are essentially what you are going to do, you are going to C bind. Like you're going to append column wise by state ID, right? So the number of column is increasing, right? So number of column is increasing, that sometimes modeling perspective is a bit difficult. So that is one problem. Just view purpose, you will see always wide format. If it is too wide, it's very difficult for us to just think. That is one thing. And essentially, you are assuming that there will be all of the state will have the same number of days of observations. This is a basic problem. And the problem is, and this is actually a problem. Why it is a problem? Because Bihar suppose started the cases on day 2. Okay. So suppose it started on day 2. The first cases suppose observed on day 2, there were no cases on day 1. So is it a 0 or is it a NA? What do you think? What should be the right entry for this day 1?
0. 0.
It should be NA, right? Because if day 3, from a pandemic perspective, it could be NA, it could be 0, because we cannot, why I'm saying so? Because pandemic starts on day 2 on Bihar. So you cannot really say that it is actually 0, because pandemic has not started in that place. The first case observed on day 2. So should I do it as a NA? So that is a question, and there is no correct answer. There is no correct answer. That is sometimes, so I personally feel like this kind of push us structurally into one corner. So that is one problem. I have seen another way of plotting this is, sorry, white format. Another white format is each state on the column. So Andaman, Nicobar, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, ... West Bengal, and then each day 1, 2, 3, like this. So, okay, sorry. This was actually previous. So on day 1, there will be 3 status. There will be 3 status. Confirmed, day 1 deceased, day 1 recovered. Then day 2 confirmed, deceased, recovered. So I have seen this also. This was actually in practice previously. Now they have changed it to this long format. The current format is this format. I actually prefer this format over this format, because still we have to handle almost 38 columns, 38 or 39 columns, because 36 state come union territory, then status, and then day. So 38 columns we have to handle. Whereas in the long format, you are handling only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. That's it. So if the number of columns is less, I feel somewhat easier to handle. And actually, if you see, this is also somewhat, when from your RDBMS point of view, you guys are now studying the relational database management, right? That database management concept. If you essentially, these are the ID, the state and date, you can think of as a ID. State and date is ID, and confirmed, recovered, and deceased, these are value, because these values are changing day by day. Different state and different day, the values are changing. Andaman will have the one day 1, Bihar will have a day 1, Chhattisgarh will have a day 1, or within day 1, there will be, like, if you just subset by day 1, then on or particular day, say 5th March 2021, how is the situation? I want to check that. Then you just subset it by day 1, and there will be 36 state, And then there will be each state will have a confirmed number of cases, recovered number of cases, and deceased number of cases. So state and day sort of behaves like a ID, and the confirmed cases, recovered cases, and deceased cases are actually your value columns. And if you think in this perspective, so whenever you have a data, you always focus on which are going to be my ID values, which are going to be my ID columns, and which are going to be my value columns. There could be multiple IDs in a data set. So state and date are two IDs in this data set. And these are my value columns. Okay. Clear what is state, what is long format, and what is wide format? All right, guys. So,
Sir, is there any way to render a plot, something like that, like data changing and animation are happening with data?
can you repeat your question? I'm
Like it will render a animation with date on the map itself. Like all the cases, it will render as an
Right.
animation with time.
any message,
Animation,
any missing.
animation that like
I'm not sure what you are saying.
I think he's asking for animation.
Animation. Animation on map. Okay. I have not done, to be honest with you, I have not done the animation on map. Shreyan, have you tried or thought of it, doing an animation?
No, sir.
No, sorry. We have not done so ever, but I'm sure it is doable. But honestly, we don't know how to do that. There is a few things can be done, which is even heavier. Like in one, you can see that developing this kind of plot was quite heavy. It was taking a lot of time to render. I think Shreyan has done that more thing, like if you hover on the state, then there will be a tooltip will come, and on the tooltip, how many cases recover and all kind of statistics for that particular state will show up. So that kind of thing definitely Shreyan has done, and maybe another day Shreyan can show it to everybody. And but like typical animation, like over the date, as the day changes, how the states values are changing, those kind of animation I have not done. We can try it out, but
I think, sir, I just Googled it. I think using the leaflet package, it is doable. I
okay.
mean, the leaflet package is very, very heavy package, and many things can be done.
Yeah,
If you just explore around, it's very.
Yeah. Only thing is you have to be a bit careful about memory usage, right? Because it's a very heavy package.
Yeah, I mean, if you use it in RSigny, and then you won't be able to deploy it.
Correct. So this is one of the problem that Shreyan faced. Shreyan, would you like to share your experience?
Yes, I mean the RSigny app, the free account that we use to deploy our dashboard. So there we have a limit of instance size of 1 GB. But I mean, all the data frame related plotting, handling the data, all those things can be done. But while rendering the leaflet map, it used to say it was out of memory. So we needed to upgrade our account to, the free plan is the standard plan, and the And just the plan above it, the basic plan is also gives instance size of 1 GB. We had to upgrade it one step ahead. That is the name is probably professional or premium. I think I don't remember the name. There you get a instance size of limit of up to 8 GB. I used 4 GB and that worked for me. I mean, the more the map, the more the memory you need.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, more the map will be interactive, more memory RAM will require. And you can see in a standard laptop like the one I or Shreyan are using, even doing this will have typical 8 GB. The new ones have the 8 GB, the old one has a 4 GB memory. But the Shiny is giving at best 1 GB. The free accounts is giving only at best 1
Yeah,
GB.
I mean, while trying it in the local machine, there will not be any problem since I mean, people
Yeah.
having 8 GB memory laptops or 4 GB memory laptops,
Correct.
they can handle it. But what the Chinese, I mean,
When you will
in their
deploy
domain,
Shiny,
yeah,
that is the
in their
time.
server, they are not allowing the allocating the memory.
Yeah, so you have to be very careful if you are, particularly when you are doing your project, if you have a map and if you want to make it an interactive map, then probably you have to, take the paid version of Shiny, which will be a bit expensive for you guys, I feel. But for this project, I think if you just do a simple map, even if you just do a JPEG file kind of thing and do it on backend and just for a choice, you just pick the JPEG file and render it. There are some tricks that you guys can use. If you think of rendering a map, if you're not think of rendering a map, your data is only cross-section data that has nothing to do with the on the political map.
Yes, I think GeoMSF, the thing that I showed that I think it will, I mean, the free version of RShiny can render it easily. I mean, it's not very heavy.
You think SF is doing better job in terms of rendering map?
Yes, sir. I mean,
Yeah, it looks
better.
to me
Yeah.
also when you showed it to the class, I felt it was much lighter. It was done faster. So okay, we will share both the code that we have showed to you on the Moodle, and meanwhile, I will try to finish, evaluating your assignment 1, and in next 2 days, try to give me just today, tomorrow, and then I hope I will be able to finish all the evaluation of assignment 1, and all the mistakes that I am seeing, I will discuss on Monday. Okay, and I will also email you regarding how to install Tableau in your laptop, and next week we will start Tableau maybe. Okay.
Sir, is there any other way to deploy the like other than RShiny? Like I want to deploy in some other hosting service. So is there any way to do
You
that?
can do that. You can do that. I mean, I know